welcome to the Ohio Brett Show for God and country in sports. Because what are they trying to take out of sports? God and country. They don't even want us to stand for the national anthem. They don't want us to pray with our cheerleaders, our coaches, our team doctors, our fan bases. The Ohio Brett Show for God and Country in Sports on PPN, the Patriot Party News. We're so glad you could join us tonight. You found your way here in prime time, and we're so thankful to be here on PPN. I'm so thankful for the ownership team and Warren and the executives at the Patriot Party News. Thank you for letting Ohio Brett have this show every Monday night in the locker room. Yes, it's a sports show as far as the team is gathering. And many of you know that Brett Bowl from Dublin, Ohio, nicknamed Ohio Brett, was blessed to go out to all 50 states in 2022 to encourage, recruit, and help get funds out to the team. And I'm proud to be a former Dublin Shamrock captain, class of 88. Proud to be a former University of Toledo Rocket. You can see the glass bowl there in the background where I was blessed to be a walk-on defensive back for University of Toledo teams coached by Dan Simrell, Nick Saban, Gary Pinkel. What an honor it was to attempt to get the ones and twos ready to go out and play in the ball game. Friends, we all have a role in our lives. I invite all of you to go out to ohiobrett.com, OHIOBRETT.com. You can join me. We send out one email a week with a short, encouraging video from me. And every month we're sending out a locker room report where I'll give you updates on the road because we're in the fourth quarter right now. The blessings are there is 9 states to go before year end. And if it's his will, we'll get it done, going to all 50 states. So phone a friend here on the PPN. If you have anybody that has a sports background, and we have followers from all over the world, but definitely in America, the high school, the college, and the pros, all fan bases, Florida Gators, Ohio State Buckeyes, Bowling Green Falcons, the mighty Toledo Rockets. And yes, we even have a few of those fans that love the green and white of Michigan State and Washington Huskies and Texas Longhorns. Congratulations to the Final Four. That team up north with the maize and blue will play Roll Tide, Alabama, in the Rose Bowl on January the 1st. And in the other matchup, live from the Sugar Bowl, Bourbon Street will be rocking, where the Texas Longhorns will do battle with the Washington Huskies. And the Final Four is set in college football in America. But also, many of you know, with my golfing background, got many family members that were really good in golf. And I loved being a dishwasher at Murfield Village Golf Club. I probably was in the top 5 dishwashers all time at Jack Nicklaus's Murfield Village Golf Club. And such great events have been there. Every year they host the PGA Tour event, the Memorial Tournament hosted by Jack Nicklaus. And he is so special. And unfortunately, in the Ryder Cup, a lot of us watched our American team get pounded by the Europeans in the Ryder Cup. And we're excited for 2025 when the Ryder Cup comes back to Long Island at Bethpage Black. I believe Phil Mickelson should get the captaincy. They love Phil in that area. And as the PGA Tour and the Live Golf Tour navigate the changing golf landscape, boy, there was some major news this last week. And friends, we got a heck of a show here. We're going to go talk a little golf. We're going to go live from Houston and with an amazing group that's standing out against an abomination in our midst, against the children and child trafficking. And yes, we'll go to the Middle East to talk and share some real truth on what's going on in the Middle East, because the locker room, all of us players and coaches and cheerleaders here in the locker room, we've all been lied to in every single aspect of our lives. And I'm so thankful for the show that in the locker room, every team I was made up on was made up of all race, color, and creed, all political parties. And there's only one political party in America. They lie to us and act like there's two. But whether you vote Republican or whether you vote Democrat, we have all been lied to. And friends, in the live golf world, Jon Rahm, one of the best golf players in the world on this amazing planet, he is one of the very, very best. And he just signed a $300 million contract to go play golf in the Live Golf Tour. And I want to take a look at the man in action here as we go out. And let's see here. We're going to do a little interview here with David Faraday and Jon Rahm. Take a look.
The Big Apple. It's a big day
Thank
for
you.
you.
Yeah, it's a very important day.
And you're from a small village in the Basque region of Spain, and you come to Arizona State. You don't speak a whole lot of English, yet you get a degree in communications. But did you ever envisage a day like this in your career back then?
No. I mean, there was no way to think of anything like this or envision a future like this, right? So no, it was never really a part of it, but it's very exciting that now it is a possibility and a reality.
Well, you've been the subject of rumors for a long time now. What was it that finally made you make the leap?
God, yeah, I've been hearing some things for a few years now.
Yeah.
I think the innovation and the vision of Live Golf is what pushed me over to at least give it a chance and hear the pitch out, and ultimately ended up being what I guess I wanted to hear, right? I believe in the growth of the game of golf. I've largely spoken about how Sevi improved the game of golf in Spain, and I've always said how I would like to do the same thing over there. And if I can reach a bigger audience, it would be amazing. And I do believe this process will help me do that.
Was there one aspect of the Live Golf League that, helped you across the line?
It's, even though it's not part of this sport, it is now, though. It was the team aspect of things.
Yeah.
Right? Some of the biggest sporting events, for the most part, people are following their teams. And I myself, growing up being a massive Athletic Bilbao fan, I realized that, that has a bit of an appeal, right? Much more than I give it credit to, even in golf. And it's something that I'm passionate about, and something that hopefully I can learn a lot about and improve.
When your sons are old enough to understand what's happening here, how do you explain this decision to them?
I don't even know if they'll ever care, to be honest. As long as Dad comes home and keeps buying them trucks to play with, I think they'll be happy. And so far, they only care that Dad is Dad, right? They really don't care what I do. They just want to see me be happy, and I want to see them be happy. But if I had to put it into words, I would tell them I essentially did what I thought was best for me, them, their mom, and the future of our family.
Speaking of kids, we're attracting a younger audience, and it's a global audience. How do you feel about that?
Very happy. I'm very much looking forward to seeing some venues overseas.
Yeah.
It's one of the appeals, right? Again, to see new places, new audiences, new crowds, new golf courses. It's all something that very few sports can facilitate, and golf can. So I'm really looking forward to that, and getting to experience some of the very, very good highlights that I've seen online.
Do you think people underestimate the way the players are invested in the team concept?
I believe so. Yeah, I don't think it's spoken about enough. I think you have some of the best players in the world who are also now leaders of their own team, partners of the league, in a massive business that's global, that is ever growing, right? So it's an aspect of the game that I myself looked over that now is a reality, and I can't wait to get into it and learn more, and hopefully evolve my team and my brand.
How much did the Mickelsons, Phil and Tim, influence did they have on you with this decision? And also, you're represented by Steve Loy, the same.
There was no player that actively tried to convince me to switch and take this step, right? they were always happy to answer my questions, whether it was Tim, whether it was Phil, whether it was Sergio, people I'm really close with, Pat Perez, who plays golf at Silver Leaf with me very often.
Yeah.
I never had anybody actively pitch me changing my career path, but everybody was very willing to answer the questions that I had. I'm a curious guy and wanted to learn about it, and slowly the love started to grow.
Does it feel like a change in your career path or just a part of the evolution?
Honestly, I've made changes in my life that maybe now seem small, but at the time were big, right? I went from an old Basque high school to Madrid to a golf academy, all Spanish, which it might seem small, but it's still a different language. And I left my home, right?
Yeah.
So I was 15 at the time. That was a big change. Then going to Arizona State with never been in the U.S., didn't know what college golf was all about, had no idea really where I was going or what I was doing, and limited English. So this almost seems like just another one of those steps in which I've grown so much and have improved my game so much. So as far as I'm concerned, I just want to be the best golfer I can be, and this is a good platform for it.
Did you ask advice from any other live players other than Sergio and Phil?
No, not really. No, there's one player whose caddy was my college teammate, which is Pooch. His caddy Alberto was a college teammate, a roommate of mine for almost 4 years. So obviously I ask him the same questions, and I'm curious to see how the caddies get treated as well, and how other players that maybe are not captains get treated. But I never seekingly seek for advice. But they were always very happy to answer the questions.
Well, the rumor started weeks ago, I guess, but what is the reaction you've received to the people that you have let know what you're doing?
It's been a very close circle of people that I've actively let know what was going on. And even the people that heard the rumors that wanted to give me their opinion, it's all been extremely positive. I'm very lucky to have the friends and family that I have, and they just want to see me happy. So that's always the answer that I got. Whatever makes me happy, and a lot of them supported the possible career path.
Well, players at the very top of the game, like yourself, have commercial attachments, have sponsorships, that kind of thing. Are any of yours, ready to make this leap with you?
Yeah, this is important. I mean, my sponsors, I choose them carefully, and luckily they've chosen me back.
Yeah.
And I want to have a connection with the sponsors that I have to be able to represent them the best I can. And I can say, as of right now, that after meeting with Callaway and some of their executives, they do want to continue this partnership with my transition to Live Golf. So yeah, I'm excited to be able to announce that.
What have you learned about yourself throughout this whole process?
How much time do we have to answer that question? I think the number one thing I learned is that I love the game of golf, and I'm on the side of golf, right? When I ever go on discussion, I want golf to succeed. And the second, that at the end of the day, a man's going to make a decision what's best for him and his family. Right? It's that simple, which is what this boiled down to.
What do you think the biggest adjustment is going to be for you?
I don't know.
Do you feel like you're stepping into the unknown to a certain extent?
A little bit. It's a different environment, right?
Like, it is a different environment.
I play golf at home with music on. I've never played a tournament with music on. So I think it's going to be an adjustment period. But it's an exciting adjustment, right? Like, I'm looking forward to it. It's something different. It's something that is on the PGA Tour and some events has been talked about before. So just looking forward to actually seeing it in action.
We're looking forward to seeing you in action too. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining me here.
Thank you.
Well, congratulations to John Rahm. Opportunity for that young man and everything he's doing in the game of golf. Friends, they're independent contractors. Golfers are allowed to set their schedule anywhere. Arnold Palmer, Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods have all played in the Middle East, in Australia, in New Zealand, all over Asia for prize money and awards. And I'm thankful for the Live tournament. I love history. I respect those players that made the PGA Tour and those that had courageous, like Greg Norman and Phil Mickelson, going outside of the box to go ahead and make a difference for the great game of golf. And friends, whether it's football, softball, tennis, paddleball, racquetball, whatever that sport may be, we know that sport also, if we're not careful, it is like that Roman Colosseum, because what Scripture teaches us is that we know in Ezekiel 9, it talks about crying out against the abominations in our midst. And many of you know that Ohio Brett is blessed to go out to all 50 states, all 88 counties in Ohio. I'm looking to have an impact in. And yes, Ohio is sharing me with America. And we made it to all 50 states in 2022. And we simply wanted to encourage the team, recruit for the team, and help get funds out to the team. And as a fundraising consultant, I'm involved in a lot of creative projects. Everything got shut down with high school sports booster groups with the pandemic. Now that things are pressing on, moving forward, we're starting to rekindle that. And whether it is a concert experience, a golf tournament, or even a creative proprietary 3-part fundraising telethon. And I'm excited to have been asked to join hands with OG Pay and Veterans for Child Rescue. And tomorrow night, December the 12th, live from 6 to 9 p.m., I'm honored to be able to host a fundraising telethon for an amazing group. And I want to go ahead and let's go ahead and pull it up here as we pull it up on the website, that I know that we are the ones that are going to have to step outside the box and go out after it and stand up in the gap for our children. Everybody saw the Sound of Freedom movie. You saw it. It was 3 weeks. It was 4 weeks. How long did we start watching the movie, and then yet everybody forgot about it? Everybody forgot about it. And we're not going to let that happen on our watch. So I'm excited to partner up with Veterans for Child Rescue. I'm going to take a look at them in action here.
As a former Navy SEAL, I'm wired for direct action. And I know that for this kind of work, I'd need a team of guys I could depend on for high threat security. So I put together what I called the Viper team. Former special operators, all very highly skilled and highly intelligent. Every one of them wanted to stop child trafficking.
Yeah, nice.
After a couple of days getting dialed in at the range, we were ready to deploy.
I'm going to show you these scout hills here.
This would be extremely difficult to find these scouts hiding in these mountains.
Between 2006 and 2012, 75,000 children were brought into the United States. There are about 75 cartel organizations that are controlling and trafficking women and children. Now, this is slavery.
There's a wide range of child trafficking victims and perpetrators that we're seeing. We're seeing everything from MS-13 gangbangers, moving kids and teenagers, to high-end sophisticated networks and individuals, and then even families, sadly enough, mothers and fathers sell their own kids. All of it's heartbreaking. The kids lose at every turn. We just got to figure out exactly what we can do about it.
I think the most important thing, man, is we ran across little kids' tiny backpack, man. It's put things in perspective. Little shoes, like, man, of course, unpassable.
The network is very powerful. Criminals are organized, and I think it's time that we good people organize to fight back for our kids. After all, who are we if we can't look after our own offspring?
Oh, gosh!
That's exactly right. We have to cry out against the abominations in our midst. And friends, tomorrow night from 6 to 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, I have the honor of being the host telethon. And we go ahead and I want to share this QR code. Go ahead, and if you're watching this, enter this show right now, go ahead and take a picture of that or put your camera on. It'll take you to vetsforchildrescue.org/Ohio Brett. And if you take a picture of that, it'll take you right out there. And we'll take you to the website so you can learn all about them. I was blessed to have some guests on the show with Forrest. They did such a great job. We'll pull up the website. So you'll be able to go out to the website here and join us as we'll post this interactive 3 hours of pure heroes coming on and testimonies that this is serious stuff, folks, that we will cry out against the abominations in our midst. And we'll be doing a couple giveaways in the telethon. You'll have a chance to win a Bahama cruise and some great coffee and tea packages. And for the first 1,000 people who sign up, we have a great partner in OG Pay that is a great just asset to what they're bringing to the marketplace with a wallet. Well, they're going to have hundreds of worthy causes that you'll be able to learn about. And in this space right here, with the child sex trafficking in the USA, it is real. And sadly, it is estimated to generate at least $50 billion every year in the U.S. alone. And we know that when I was asked to get involved by the OG Pay team and got to learn a little bit more about what Veterans for Child Rescue are doing, and after watching Sound of Freedom, we just can't have a movie every 3 years and talk about a very tough topic, because one of the biggest problems in America is a consumer problem. And I know that I'm going to do my part to get involved, and I'm thankful for OG Pay and everything that they're doing for Veterans for Child Rescue. Here's a little bit more about what they do with their mission to expose and eradicate child trafficking in the USA via counter trafficking operations, working with law enforcement agencies and NGOs, as well as the education, because the prevention education has to happen in our elementary school, middle school, high schools, to the Rotarians and the small chambers. America, men and women in America are the biggest consumers. So this isn't, we got to take care of our own backyard first. And Veterans for Child Rescue are doing some amazing things. And I'm excited to do my part with the telethon tomorrow. You'll be able to join us. And hey, we're going to have a fun time just sharing the truth. Because, friends, you don't have to lie. Just share the truth. That's all you have to do. In the locker room, all we want is coaches that will not lie to us. Don't lie to us. We can handle the truth. We can self-correct. And we know that pure evil is out there. And that pure evil, man, it's disgusting what they're doing to our kids.
Watch me play golf.
Friends, it's evil out there. And for those of us who are parents, we know that these cell phones right here, these cell phones are a major, major problem. Many of us didn't have cell phones. We just went out and played. We played sports, basketball, baseball, throwing football, backyard football. Our parents got mad when we tackled each other because we were all so rough. And we just know that the scripture teaches us that we try to teach the kids the right things to do so when they get older, they'll know what to do. It never stops the attack of the evil one trying to groom us. And we know who that author of confusion is. And then the author of confusion with grooming, what is grooming? That grooming, it's that manipulation tactics that predators use to gain the victim's trust in order to exploit and abuse them while reducing their risk of being caught. You know, grooming works by gradually mixing positive or rewarding behaviors with elements of abuse. Friends, grooming is taking place in everywhere, in the churches, in the schools. You know, I had Craig Sawyer on the other day. He's the founder of Veterans for Child Rescue, and he'll be on the telethon tomorrow. And his executive director, it was an honor to meet and be able to work with Forrest Seeley. Forrest Seeley is doing such a great job as the executive director for Veterans for Child Freedom and a former Houston Cougar place kicker. And we hit it off great as we went down that path, and they're doing some amazing things, folks. And one of the things they did is they have the movie Contraland that they released out there, and it's up to us to take action. You can have all the films and all the documentaries that you want, and you have to take action, and you need funding to get the job done. There's no doubt about it. And so whether it's a golf tournament or a concert or a direct giving, we have got to get the funds in the right hands. And let's take a look at the trailer.
There are about 75 cartel organizations that are controlling and trafficking women and children. Now, this is slavery. These children come from our families. It's evil.
I don't ever feel like I'm going to be the same. I feel marked.
How much is 2 girls for a half hour?
I really wanted my mom to love me. And I also didn't want her to be sick.
I'll do it for 150.
It's so common that no matter what town you're in, you could probably go within a couple blocks and find a victim or a perpetrator of child trafficking.
Hi, how are you? Very nice to meet you.
The sexual exploitation of children has increased exponentially.
It begins with a glance, with a kind word, with a conversation, and pretty soon you've developed this relationship.
Hey.
No family deserves to have this happen in their life. You're never the same. Never.
Real men do not prey upon defenseless and precious children. Knock it off, or we're coming for you.
We must not be tolerant of that which will kill us or that which will destroy our children. We can't be a network of people that says no more by ourselves.
The stories are something that the general public will never even imagine could happen. As long as there is supply, demand, it will never end.
pure evil we face, folks. And it would be better for a millstone. You put a millstone around your neck and jump in the deep waters and commit suicide than do something for the kids. And what better than the athletes and the cheerleaders and the coaches and the team doctors and the fan bases to rally around this. And please visit vetsforchildrescue.org/Ohio-Brett. It's on the ticker right there. I invite you to join us tomorrow night for 3 hours. I have the honor of hosting and being the MC of a live 3-hour telethon where we have so many amazing guests. We have some horrific testimonies of survivors, and they're overcoming some dark times. Don't miss it, folks. Your invitation has been extended. I welcome all of you to come join us. And as we end up 2023, one of the great blessings of being able to go to all 50 states is some of the men and women, boys and girls that I've been allowed to meet. God has allowed it all to happen. There's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm one invitation away from coming to your town. And, you can always go to ohiobrett.com, OHIOBRETT.com. Invite me to come to your town. I'm starting to fill out my schedule. I believe by faith we'll be able to knock off in the fourth quarter these last 9 states, all out in the great Northwest, that we'll be able to knock it off. I'll be meeting with local leaders and hosting prayer gatherings where nobody can play defense on us. Well, if I can let social media and on my streaming shows, that where I'll be in Juneau, Alaska, in Seattle, in Oregon, in Colorado, Kansas, Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, South Dakota, North Dakota, and Minnesota. I did make the mistake of not getting it done in the summertime like I did last year. So we're going to have to do about 4 or 5 flights. And by faith, the weather will be permitting, and we'll knock it off and get it done. I am so thankful for that because, friends, make no mistake about it. It's a spiritual battle and not just a political fight, everything that we do. That's why I'm so excited to be one of the hosts on the Patriot Party News. We have so many amazing hosts, and the programming that is provided for you. Please share the patriotpartynews.com with your family and your friends and your neighbors and your coworkers and your sorority sisters and your fraternities. I'm thankful that I'm fully on the front lines of the spiritual battle. The wicked will truly flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. And the best tip I can give you on how to seek righteousness is to encourage everybody. The number one national program that I'm involved in all 88 counties in Ohio and all 50 states, the number one national program is encouraging everybody to read your Bible daily. If you say you're on Team Jesus Christ, I love media. Thank you for watching the show. Share it. But if you're on the team already, we need you. Coach can't put you in if you don't know the plays. And that precious playbook, don't leave it in your locker. Read it every day. You could start with reading Psalm, read the letters of Paul, go ahead and start in Genesis and read all the way through the book of Revelation and start over again. It's never a bad day when you start your day with coffee or tea and reading your Bible, that playbook. And then recruits. Yes, you better believe on this journey, I love meeting the recruits. And the recruits out there, you may be watching tonight. You might be atheist or Jewish or any other religion. For me, it's about a relationship and not a religion. Because the question I ask you is, what do you have to lose by reading the Bible? These are for the recruits. Jewish, atheist, any other religion. What do you have to lose by reading the full Bible? That King James Version with 66 books, but then man has touched it. You need to read all the books, all the book of Enoch, the Maccabees, the Songs of Solomon, all of them. Read them all. And then that's a personal relationship between you and our Heavenly Father, because you start reading that Bible, it will show you the 2 places where you have to choose to spend eternity. And reading that Bible, it shows you about Jesus, the only one way, by what he did alone on the cross and fulfilling that prophecy and rising again 3 days later. His shed blood, sacrifice for all of our sin. Man, that is so deep. The greatest act of love I could do is encourage you to read your Bible. That's between you and the Lord. Dig in. You know, how many hours do people watch, wasting time watching Netflix and sports and college football? I'm looking in the mirror, folks. You better believe I watch college football. And you have to balance that out with your walk with the Lord. Because there's been many a times I watched the Ohio State Buckeyes pound Michigan State at noon. And then I wasn't going to miss the Texas Longhorns playing the Kansas Jayhawks. And I couldn't believe the Kansas Jayhawks kept it close till the fourth quarter when Texas pulled away. And then I got to watch Fresno State's playing at UCLA in the Rose Bowl. And of course I was going to stay up to watch Hawaii. The Washington Huskies were playing Hawaii at Hawaii. How many hours of football can you consume? But that is part of the Roman Colosseum. Great, great, great distraction. And so I'm an excited guy. I'm one teammate. No better and no worse. I've made more mistakes than most of you watching this show. And I'm so thankful for all of you who watch the Patriot Party News. And I'm honored to be one of the hosts. But we are taking action. And my game plan that God gave me, 3 parts: encourage the team, which is Team Jesus Christ; recruit for the team. It starts with getting everybody in the Bible, both encouragement and recruiting. And yes, get funds out. I've been a creative fundraiser since 2004. Most of it was done with creative speaking programs, with bringing some friends. And in the state of Ohio, I know I'm not the best looking guy in the world, but I'm not the dumbest. In the state of Ohio, all 88 counties, they love when you could bring a former Ohio State Buckeye football player. You bring him to town, and boy, everybody showed up. And they wanted to see us speak all day long at the elementary school, middle school, high school, career and technical schools, the disease of addiction families, a veteran suicide prevention talk, lunch with the Rotary or the Chamber of Commerce, a couple local business sponsors. I would love to go to the car dealer and be in the lobby and encourage all of his customers and his staff. There's always some great companies in any town that are making a difference in that town. And after dinner with sponsors, it's always fun to share your faith-based testimony at a church at night. And evil truly has crept in unawares in the American church. The enemy is from within the church. It's right there. The author of confusion, in my opinion, the denomination level. Hey, I don't remember Jesus Christ speaking to everybody, and before they prayed over the bread and a few fish, hey, I didn't remember him saying, hey, well, we got a couple housekeeping items. Catholics up front, Baptists in the back, Lutherans over there, Methodists over there. No. What a absolute distraction. But the creative fundraising is going to press on, folks. And you can get a hold of me at ohiobrett.com if you want to invite me to come to town. I'll get involved in a Ohio Brett and Friends Community Day speaking programs, pep talks all day long. We'll get local parents and local companies to sponsor it. And I could do a revenue share with high school booster groups or veterans groups or groups that love the dogs, whatever it may be. Give me a call. Go ahead and reach out via the website, ohiobrett.com. And yes, you've heard me talk about it before. We are moving forward with the concert experience. And I am so excited with one of the musical acts that I'll be partnering up with, Nashville recording artist. My good friend that God blessed us to meet last year when I got invited by a beautiful man of the Lord and Marine, Craig Hudgens, introduced me to Glenn Baker, and he asked for me to get to Nashville, which I did. And we met, and the Glenn Baker Band opened up for Big and Rich in a beautiful concert in Nashville. And it was an honor for me to start that journey of going down the friendship path and now business partnership path. We'll be bringing small concerts all over America. And we'll be able to share a blessing in ticket sales and sponsorship sales with local booster groups and organizations worthy of support. But let's take a look at Nashville recording artist Glenn Baker and his song, No New Normal.
Are facing a new normal, one that may include losing their jobs.
But certainly the new normal will be different than the old normal.
But what we do know is this is massively going to change the way that we live our lives.
And the challenge that no matter what the new normal looks like.
But is it also fated to be your future?
I woke up this morning, looked out the door to a country I don't recognize. They put masks on our face to hide our pain, and there's no fire in most people's eyes. We can't go to church to worship God, but we can loot and riot and steal. There's those at the top that are twisting their knobs, and man, it's making me pretty ill. I saw on the TV a group of kids stomping on Old Glory out in the street. They lit her on fire, and it made me pretty mad to see her lying in filth under their feet. Then I paused to remember they may not know any better than to do whatever they see, because they don't know anyone who was raised in a way as someone such as me. No new normal, we gotta take our country back. You can take it or leave it, but it's a matter of fact. There's those on the left and some on the right trying to pull off puppet strings. If they don't stop, it's gonna be a fight, and that's all right with me. There's a war going on that we cannot see, and it's happening all around us. Paying people to fight and riot and burn and bringing them in on a big bus. They're destroying our business, threatening our lives, trying to take our liberty. Then the talking heads look us right in the eye and say, that's just the way it's gotta be. No new normal, we gotta take our country back. You can take it or leave it, son, but it's a matter of fact. There's those on the left and some on the right trying to pull off puppet strings. If they don't stop, it's gonna be a fight, and that's all right with me. That's all right with me. We were founded on a free land. By God, we have what we have. But the milk and honey is for those willing to fight. For liberty and justice, and all our wives and our kids. By God, we'll fight like they did in 1776. Don't want to put me on your list. No new normal, we gotta take our country back. You can take it or leave it, but it's a matter of fact. There's those on the left and some on the right trying to pull off puppet strings. If they don't stop, it's gonna be a fight, and that's all right with me. That's all right with me. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. That's all right with me. Come on, boys. Let's go get us some liberty.
Let's go get us some liberty. I'm with Glenn Baker, Nashville recording artist Glenn Baker. And folks, please contact me at ohiobrett.com if you'd like to learn more how you could bring a fundraising concert experience like none other, featuring the Glenn Baker Band and local bands. It's all about local. I can picture it right there. We got a farmer's field, or we got some practice fields at the high school. I can see the most beautiful stage up front, sound and lighting, big American flag in the background, the food trucks and the beverage trucks and the porta potties and the local sponsorship tables. Everybody brings a blanket and a lawn chair, and we get after it, having fun, sharing truth with all race, color, and creed in your community for a good cause. Local booster groups, veterans group, dog groups, worthy groups that are so in need of funding. And friends, it is an abomination what's happening all around the world. And I know that the group at stopworldcontrol.com, stopworldcontrol.com, David Sorensen is doing such a great job. I want to salute David Sorensen and everything he's doing, standing up for truth out there. There are a few of us that won't waver, and there are many that will go with the way of the world. And we know what scripture says about that, but we just don't want to be lied to. It's so confusing, everything that's going on over in the Middle East. And there's so many lies. And I wanted to take some time right now to bring up, and we're going to show some of the video. This is tough to watch, but it's up to the educated consumer makes a right choice for themselves. So we have got to present the facts. The facts. I'm going to encourage all of you to go out to stopworldcontrol.com, get to know David Sorensen, get educated. And we're going ahead and take a look at a tough video that I wanted to share a part of with tonight on the Ohio Brett Show.
I am David Sorensen from StopWorldControl.com. In this video, I present to you truths and realities that are extremely difficult to comprehend. Information that will shock us to the core, because it challenges everything we believe. It turns our world upside down, and it reveals something so evil that it is almost incomprehensible. Yet it is the truth. If we want this world to become a better place, then we cannot afford to deny obvious realities. We must have the courage and the sincerity to face truth. I invite you to have this courage and sincerity when you watch this video. It will be difficult. It will be very challenging. But it will also expose something extremely nefarious in this world that every human being needs to be aware of. Several former members of the Israeli Defense Force have come forth because they are extremely concerned about what is going on in Israel. They testify how the military in Israel is the most advanced high-tech army in the entire world. They also reveal how the borders between Israel and Gaza are the most heavily secured borders anywhere on earth. High-tech sensors alert the Israeli Defense Force from the moment that even a small animal approaches the borders. Yet hundreds of Hamas fighters were not only able to approach the border, but they blew up the fences. They entered Israeli territory and started destroying homes and burning down villages and killing Israeli people without any semblance of defense by the Israeli military. Turns out that Shortly before this attack, the government had ordered the removal of all military presence from that area. Hamas was literally given a free pass to enter and start their operation. In the next videos, you will hear former members of the Israeli Defense Force explain that something very, very, very concerning is going on in Israel.
שתפו את הסרטון הזה כמה שיותר, כי תקשיבו רגע, אני שירתתי כסמב"צית חי"ר במהלך מלחמת צוק איתן, אני שירתתי באוגדת עזה, כל השירות שלי היה תומכת לחימה בזמן מלחמת צוק איתן שעזה הייתה באוגדת עזה. תקשיבו לי ותקשיבו לי טוב, אין מצב בעולם שיכולה להיות כזאת התקרבות לגדר, אוקיי? מבלי שאנחנו לא נדע מזה. התצפיתניות יושבות בבונקרים 4 שעות, הן לא יכולות לעשות ככה, הן מול מסך. לא יכול להיות מצב, שום מצב, שהיו מעירים אותי בלילה על יונה, על חסידה שהתקרבה לגדר, על מקק שעבר מתחת לגדר, היו מקפיצים את כל הגזרה. איך נכנסו עם טרקטורים, 400 איש ואף אחד לא שם לב.
October 7th, 2023. This is Efrat Fenigzon and I'm here to share an update from Israel-Hamas war, which started this morning. Apparently, Israeli defense forces that were supposed to be around Gaza were placed around the West Bank because of security concerns, so that the Gaza envelope was left unoccupied with military. They say around 60 to 80% of that area was left without the IDF forces that were supposed to be there. A year ago, there was a military operation in Gaza to prepare for such events, and ongoingly there are trainings for these kind of scenarios. This raises serious questions for me anyway about Israeli intelligence. What happened? 2 years ago, there was a successful deployment of underground barriers with sensors to alert exactly on these kind of terrorist breaches. Israel has one of the most advanced and high-tech armies. How come there was zero response to the border and fence breaching? I cannot understand that. Personally, I served in the IDF 25 years ago in the intelligence forces. There's no way, in my view, that Israel did not know of what's coming. A cat moving alongside the fence is triggering all forces. So what happened to the strongest army in the world? How come border crossings were wide open? Something is very wrong here. Something is very strange. This chain of events is very unusual and not typical for the Israeli defense system. The current government is highly corrupt in my view, while the previous one was no better. I don't care about having a popular opinion. I care about exposing evil forces wherever and whomever they are. So to me, this surprise attack seems like a planned operation on all fronts. If I was a conspiracy theorist, I would say that this feels like the work of the deep state. It feels like the people of Israel and the people of Palestine have been sold once again to the higher powers that be. At the same time, this is still very, very difficult to fathom.
How come the strongest army, the strongest intelligence, the most sophisticated intelligence in the world, in Israel, makes it possible for few hundred Hamas fighters to enter Israel and make all of this happen, while in that area, the Hamas fighters did not meet Israeli army or any defense or any protection or anything, as if the Israeli government was planning to offer the Hamas fighters this whole area on a silver plate. This, is not logical. Israel has the most sophisticated intelligence, has a strong army, the strongest in the Middle East, and allows something like this. So there is more behind it. Israel has sacrificed its own people sacrificed the civilians on the borders of Gaza, took away the protection, took away the army, and allowed Hamas to do what they did.
The following footage was released by Hamas. Here we can see them place explosives on the fences that are extremely heavily secured with high tech, but not a sign of Israeli response. They blow up the fences on several places. Here you have an aerial view of how they are breaking through and destroying the infrastructure. We can even see how they are literally entering onto Israeli territory with their vehicles full of armed soldiers. And not a single attempt of the Israeli Defense Force to stop them in any way. They literally received a free pass to enter into Israel. They can even drive on the roads of Israel. This is another video released by Hamas showing how they are able to blow up the security fences and enter Israel unhindered. We have to understand that this is not some massive army invading Israel. It's basically a low number of terrorists. The incredible, powerful military of Israel.
And friends, I wanted to share that tough to watch video. Please visit stopworldcontrol.com, stopworldcontrol.com. Please visit them and watch that full video documentary. And I'm thankful for them bringing real truth out there. We got lots of questions. Is this what's going to happen in America, where bought and paid for Republicans and bought and paid for Democrats? I'm on record. You know how I feel about career politicians on both sides. Talking about an abomination. They're not doing things for we the people. Career politicians, both Republican and Democrat, have sold their souls to the devil. We don't have two parties in America. Is that what it's going to look like when bought and paid for security forces vacate New York or Maine or Fort Lauderdale or our southern border or California or Alaska, where they just disappear for a little bit and let the enemy come barreling through, and they'll sacrifice thousands of us in towns? Are they going to do it on Lake Erie and come in to our northern border in Ohio? Are they going to wipe out Toledo or Cleveland? Friends, we got to sound the alarm. And I know that it's a spiritual battle and not a political fight. I do have energy and I love my neighbors, but I'm going to continue to stand in the gap. And thank you for watching the Ohio Brett Show on the Patriot Party News. God bless you all, and we'll see you soon next week.